Wow, I really need a haircut. You guys see all that? Terrible. Also, I have wolves on the back. Anyways, let's get back into this. Alright guys, what's up? Today we're going to be doing something that I haven't done before yet, and I'm kind of stoked to do now. It's going to be my first book talk / book review, and off of request, and today we're going to be doing The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. To start off, a lot of people were asking me, oh, like, how did you get into the book? Or I've tried reading it and I couldn't really bring myself to like it. And with me personally, I'll start off by saying, prior to reading this book, I had a fascination with the story. I'd heard of the story, what it was before. I had already got like a synopsis of it, so I had watched Crash Course by John Green, the Vlogbrothers, who also, again, as you guys know, if you guys have been watching my videos, that John Green is a very favorite author of mine. And when he did the Crash Course things, I watched the Great Gatsby one, and the way he talks about it, you know, he'll talk you up to it and make normal literature or like required literature seem fun and something that you could actually want to look forward to. So that's how I initially got my first step into F. Scott Fitzgerald. Again, the first time I read this, I was a junior in high school. I was 17 years old and was, of course, fascinated by the idea of love and how to get there. So let's just break it down and start with what this story's about. So unfortunately, the way I want to talk about this, I can't leave out spoilers. Plus, this book is so old. I feel like it's not like a new book that everyone's going to try to read, and then, you know, so there's going to be spoilers in here. So if you really don't want to be spoiled about it, please don't continue watching from here, unfortunately. But if you are, then let's ready to get into this. Alright, so the book essentially is about a guy named Gatsby who is trying to win the love of a girl named Daisy. Try to win her love back. They had previous like encounters before, about 5 years ago. He actually is counting so much that he knows the exact date that they had met and how long they've been apart in a certain scene. The book is told in the character's perspective of Nick Carraway, who is the cousin of Daisy, and with that moves in next door to West Egg, which is a part of New York that is filled by the rich and famous. West Egg is new money, and East Egg is old money. So those are the two kind of sides that clash. Essentially, he goes so far as to attaining all this money. No one really knows how until the very end. But even then, it's still left kind of ambiguous to the person. Majority of it would probably believe that he and this character named Wolfshine have been doing illegal bootlegging, which is partial what it was, and then I'm assured that there was other things that were going on that were not explained, because that's part of the whole persona of Gatsby. Is he's still a mystery even to so many people. His past is explained in countless versions by countless people. No one truly knows, and that sometimes, even though that the author writes that, oh, like, this is him telling the truth to this other character, do you really know? It's just the character is so strong that he holds his own persona, and I don't know if he's telling the truth, because I mean, granted, he is a character, but I don't know what to believe sometimes. There are obviously some situations that I believe more than others, but in terms of 100% believing about how Gatsby got his way, I'm not 100% sure of. So there's that. So yeah, he goes, he attains all this money, buys a house directly across the bay of his now past lover's house, who is married to this man named Tom Buchanan, who is a grade A douchebag. Let me repeat that, grade A douchebag. This dude is like Kanye West with triple the money and triple the arrogance. So if you can like fathom that, that's what Tom Buchanan is. Now, he's very funny. He has a mistress. He's abusive. I'm telling you, not a cool guy. He holds his role in this story though, and some compare Tom to Daisy. They are married together, and then at some points, let me get this out of the way first. I don't like Daisy too much. She's careless. They are all careless. There's a line, a famous line in here. Basically, essentially, Nick Carraway is at the end of the book, and he's saying that all people like Daisy and Tom do is make a giant mess and wait for other people to clean it up. So in terms of that, that's why a lot of people don't like those two characters, even though they are very significant in the story. Daisy more than Tom, I believe. So Gatsby's trying to win her love back. He buys a house across the bay. He throws extravagant parties every day just for the hope that she comes by He doesn't know half the people at his party. You don't need an invitation. There's only 2 people that get an invitation to the party that Nick goes to. And he's just there waiting for Daisy, trying to catch her attention, being extravagantly over the top. Later on in the story, eventually, they meet again. They're introduced and they slowly start falling back into the place that they were. There's a lot of scandals, cheating. The list goes on and on with this stuff. This stuff is very, I just feel like because the book is classified as a required literature, people just go into it with the wrong mindset. This story is just your typical, like New York Gossip Girl type of thing. Like, that's what it is. People are gossiping, people are making rumors, people are having scandals, there's people dying, there's killing people, there's war involved. It's a classic time about right before the Great Depression, which also there's a lot of references to what people later on, now looking back onto when F. Scott Fitzgerald wrote this book, he almost, some would say, predicted the future, because you can say that some of these aspects of the books predict the outcome of the Great Depression, because this book is written with the time of the Roaring Twenties. Now, the Roaring Twenties was the time when the stock market was going up. Everyone's having like amazing parties. It's kind of live free, go lucky. There was the prohibition at the time. It was like a young, wild, and free type of time, and then inevitably it just crashes one day, and it goes from the top to the bottom very fast. This story goes from top to bottom really fast. As far as to Gatsby dying at the end, getting shot for something that he did not do, there's a scene where they're coming back after a fight and Daisy is driving a car and hits Tom's mistress, and when the man whose wife that was to, if that makes sense, finds out, Tom feeds him lies about who it was driving, when we later on figure out that Daisy was the one driving, not Gatsby, and he goes far as to killing Gatsby and then killing himself, the shooter at least. His name is Wilson. Now, as a whole, I'm going to tell you some reasons why I love this book again. I completely admire the aspect of doing whatever it takes to be with the one you love. I feel like love is something that is the one emotion that is unparalleled to any of the other ones. People can do amazing things under the influence of love. And for Gatsby, that story, from coming from absolutely nothing, he was a poor, like, Midwest farmer kid who didn't accept his parents because they were poor, because he knew inside that he was better, and going as far as to waiting 5 years for a woman and becoming rich solely for the purpose of being with this woman, not just to be successful. Most people would want to be rich to be successful. His only motivation to be rich was to be with this girl. Now, granted, not a great girl if you have to be rich to be with her, but I'm saying for him to do that, for him to have the capacity to do that, put everything past him, behind him, nothing else matters besides this woman. I love that concept of this story. That's the one thing I loved about the story. Next, F. Scott Fitzgerald's writing style. His writing style is very specific, and there's nothing comparable to F. Scott Fitzgerald's writing style. The way he holds his setting, the way that he depicts New York, it's compared to none. His figurative language is another thing that is above all. If you guys know anything about this book or studied it in high school or any type of school setting, you know that color is a major aspect of this book. He mentions a lot of colors a lot, whether or not he's actually meaning to say something with that, because I am the type of person to believe that people just write to write, not everything is a freaking symbol. But with this, it could be said so that it is because of how apparent he uses it, and the way he uses it, the way he describes situations, the way he describes people. It's something truly amazing. You can really get a feel for, like, Tom Buchanan, because, like I said, this dude's like a grade A douchebag, but F. Scott Fitzgerald literally can say that without saying grade A douchebag, but in your head that's the first thing you think of, because of the way he depicts him, the way he describes him, the way he holds himself. It's amazing. You can really see, majority of the time you can create the character, and everyone has the exact same character. Some people might have different, like, perspectives in other books where it's like, oh, I pictured him like this, I pictured him like this. With F. Scott Fitzgerald, I've never seen anyone to picture anyone as any other type of person. I mean, the way he depicts this is amazing, and I feel like that's just something I look forward to in his reading. Like I said, I have his anthology, so I look forward to reading a lot more of those. But again, Other than that, I can't really explain anything more about why The Great Gatsby is so great. It's a classic for a reason, and I am truly a fan. And if I could meet one author, if I had the choice to meet any author, it would be F. Scott Fitzgerald. So yeah, I hope that answers some questions. Hopefully that'll get you to read some of the books. I didn't talk about it too much, like in terms of like spoiling stuff. I tried to leave as much of that out as I could. So there's a lot of things that I did not talk about that I feel like people should figure out on their own and be astonished on their own with. But yeah, if you can, don't read it in a school setting. Just put it in like a TBR and just honestly read it as a normal book. Just don't give it that pedestal that it's a classic reading that you have to read for school and dissect and, you know, annotate and all that bad stuff. Just read it for fun, honestly. It's a short book. It normally takes me about 2 nights to read. Give it a week. Just read it, have fun. Watch the movie. I love Leonardo DiCaprio, so that was another good one. But yeah, other than that, that'll be it. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.